All right, we're recording. Here we go. Hey.
Hey, hold on. I gotta take a swig.
Hey, everybody. Podcast number 3.
Hey, everybody.
Live from Burbank.
Yes, welcome again. Thanks for watching.
What is it you got there?
It's my juice. It's a tomato, celery, lime juice.
Tomato. Is it like a savory kind of juice?
No, it's just I drink them for health benefits. You know, I started doing it like a year and a half ago. It was like a big kick. No, okay. So remember on the last podcast that we were talking about, I'm a sucker for getting like emails and stuff like that. Remember I was telling you about that?
You're a sucker for getting
the Apple. I signed up for the Apple Plus.
Oh, right. So
right.
You mean promotional emails,
yes,
not like Nigerian prince is going to send you a bunch of money.
Oh yeah, we get those too, but no. But so I was listening to the radio on my way to work, right? And they're talking about this juicing and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try this.
Okay.
So I was going to think, take off some of those COVID-19 15 pounds or whatever. So I was doing it to lose weight, but then I saw so many other benefits from it. I used to have Delaney like walk on my back every night from like knots and everything like that.
Right, Delaney, your daughter. Right?
Oh yeah, who everybody met in podcast 2.
Right.
But I was drinking celery juice every day, and I started drinking it. It took away all those, and I looked into it. And it's an anti-inflammatory when you drink it.
Celery juice is an anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, like a natural anti-inflammatory. So
wow.
I've been doing it for like a year and a half. I went from, I get my annual blood work, and my doctor was like, "What are you doing different? Your blood work looks amazing." My blood pressure went down, everything. So I've seen a lot of benefits from it. So,
And you drink, I've seen you drink 1 or 2 of these, you bring them into the shop, right?
Yeah. And I drink a carrot one. And then, remember I was telling you in the first podcast episode, I do the microneedling. So after that, I call it the face stabbing. Yes. So I drink, there's a cellular rejuvenation juice that I drink. It's blueberries, grapefruit, apples, and grapes. I juice that for helping recover from the face stabbing.
Oh, well, it's got a lot of antioxidants in there and things like that, right?
Yeah, so I enjoy doing it. I know everybody looks at me like I'm weird for drinking this stuff.
No, it's good. It's good nutrition, right? But do you make your own juices or do you buy these like pre-made?
It would be one of these would be like $10 to if you bought it at a store. They're expensive. So no, I invested in a juicer.
Nice.
Yep, and I juice it myself. I go to Costco and buy all the organic bunches of it. So
and is the juicer that you have? Do you like it? Do you want to mention the brand by name or?
It is a Breville one, and I've tried multiple ones, and this is my favorite. And it wasn't even one of the most expensive ones. It was only like $100. I got it from Crate and Barrel. Yeah, nice. So I really enjoy doing it.
Fabulous.
Yeah,
well, you look great.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Every podcast we bring up your observatory. What's going on with it?
Yeah, the observatory down in Chile. So it's a little bit different now. We are exchanging our 17-inch. We have a Planewave 17-inch telescope, and we are swapping it out. Actually, the 17 is en route back to Planewave, and we're waiting for the 20-inch to show up.
Got it. Okay. So are you able to image or anything right now?
Yeah. So what's interesting is, and in fact, I'm going to show this right now. Let me see if I can switch it over here. And in fact, we've got a little picture-in-picture now. We can see this. But so this is the live observatory roof camera down in Chile in the Atacama Desert.
Oh, that's so neat.
And of course, the roof is
it's closed up right now.
Right.
Okay,
obviously. This is you can see all the various equipment that we share here, but our little so now what we did was, this is us right here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's the little 80 millimeter.
You have a
little tiny, it's on a giant mount. We almost couldn't use it because we couldn't have enough less counterweight on there.
Oh my!
But it's this little tiny thing. So here's the thing, though. It's an 80 millimeter refractor from Stellar View. So I think the focal length is something like 400.
Okay.
It's a very, very wide field.
Stellar View makes great scopes. That's telescopes.
Yeah.
They really do.
Stellar View and Vic. I mean, a shout out to those guys. I mean, they did a great job for us, and they really.
Hi, Vic. Hi, everybody at Stellar View.
They did a wonderful job on that. But it is matched with a ZWO ASI 6200 one-shot color camera.
Okay.
And the thing about this is that camera is a full frame 35, so it's 36 by 24 millimeters. It's monstrous by astronomical standards, and it's a 61 megapixel camera. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of resolution.
Okay. Now, when you're talking about these full frames and everything like that, can you use that camera on any telescope, or you have to pair the telescope to the camera?
Yeah, I mean that was the big issue right now because, historically, astronomical cameras, because they were specialized, they needed to be cool, they needed to be like class 1 sensors and so forth. Generally started out as much smaller sensors than what we saw in kind of DSLR photography, mirrorless photography, and so forth. But now with the whole sort of CMOS revolution, the same sensors that we see in the most popular mirrorless cameras now are making their way into these astronomical cameras.
Okay.
So, for example, this particular one, this ASI 6200, I believe is the same chip that's found in like the Sony A7R Mark IV.
Okay.
I think, and maybe there's a Canon EOS.
Okay, those are DSLR cameras. They're
mirrorless, right?
Mirrorless. I've heard that before.
Yeah,
okay.
But they're photography ones.
Okay.
And so it's one of the biggest challenges is because the chip is physically so big, telescopes generally are not designed for to have star fields that go all the way out to the edges like that.
Right. Okay.
So, but we, Vic and the guys over at Stellar View did a great job on this. I'm going to show you.
Got some images for us.
So yeah, this is so we've been doing wide fields down there.
Oh,
and what I want to show is, it looks terrible on the computer or on the TV screen here compared to the computer screen. You can see that, but
right, okay.
But these are just an astonishing resolution. This is only like 2 hours of imaging, right? I mean, you sort of zoom in, and you can see all this stuff in here. And so this is the Eta Carinae Nebula.
Look at that.
This is, of course, this is NGC 6188, and again, I hope it's not coming across as too dark, but on my screen, it's nice and clear.
Now you said you got this in quick 3 hour. I just saw that 3 hour one shot color capture and fast process.
Right. So what it means is we just take it's a 600 second exposure. So for 3 hours it'd be like 18 frames, and that's it, and that's what we can produce out of it. So the combination of these skies and this camera is really pretty remarkable kind of thing. So
that's incredible.
But I wanted to show just a couple more. Hopefully, this is IC 2944, and it's got a nice little cluster over here. And again, I mean, it's just look at this insane amount of resolution in here. We're zooming in. This is the Omega Centauri globular cluster, and what's surprising is you never really see this kind of detail. A little bit of reflection nebula here, and it's people who see this picture say, I've never seen that there before. And my response is, I haven't either. So I don't know what to say.
Now, when you say, inform me, please. A cluster is just a area in the sky that has a lot of
right. So in this case,
stars.
This is the globular cluster.
Okay.
And in fact, if we zoom in, do I have a zoom in? I do.
Oh, okay.
So this is actually I think it's the biggest globular cluster in our Milky Way, and I'm fairly sure that all the globular clusters that we see are actually in our own galaxy.
Okay.
They believe that this globular cluster, which consists of millions of stars, kind of all densely packed, each of the stars is on average about 0.1 light years away from each other, which is pretty remarkable because where we are, I think the closest star is maybe 4 light years, 7 light years. Someone will mention this in the comments.
And so they're really close together.
Yeah, so you have this sort of amazing.
It's almost
kind of
so bright that it looks like it looks like the sun. Yeah,
and it's got what's cool is if you do it well, and again I think that this This is at 100%. Right?
Oh my gosh.
You can see the warmer stars that are reddish, orangish, and you see the cooler stars that are bluish.
Okay.
But they believe this was a dwarf galaxy. This is the remnants of a dwarf galaxy that was absorbed by the Milky Way, and this is what's left of it. I mean, I don't know how they figure this stuff out, but it's totally astonishing to me.
Yeah. So. Sometimes it's so much information that you can't. It almost makes my brain go like dark, like because it's so much information. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't. Because it's
a lot to take.
Yeah,
in.
It is.
But here's what I wanted to show. So there's this is, I think, is M17. Again, you'll see. Oops, sorry, but when you see M17, you really see this portion. You don't oftentimes see this portion down here.
Okay.
This is not a narrow band, right? So this is the red we're seeing here is not the hydrogen alpha that you normally see. This is just straight RGB one-shot color.
Got it. Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
This one I wanted to mention. So I wanted to show an example. So this is one I just kind of knocked out last night real quickly. But the way nowadays, with the way that we're doing this processing of these with these wide fields and these very, very dense star fields, right? I mean, you've got stars everywhere in this thing.
Right.
And it's just, you can't easily sort of manipulate this without mangling a bunch of stars.
Okay.
Is that we use a program inside of PixInsight, which is PixInsight is kind of like the Photoshop for astronomy images.
Pretty much, yeah. If you're doing images, you're using PixInsight pretty much.
Yeah, most people. I mean, I don't want to say it's the only deal, because there's a lot of people would say AstroPixel processor and Deep Space Stacker, or Deep Sky Stacker, one of those. DSS. But PixInsight, again, it's sort of, I feel like, is the de facto one.
Got it.
But there's a module in there called StarNet, which allows you to produce. I'm going to show this to you real quick. This is StarNet. What has taken that image and it's removed all the stars out of it. And so what you do is now you have basically access directly to the nebula content of what's going on.
Neat.
And you can then kind of bring the nebula out a little bit more, the nebulosity. You can bring out some of these structures, things like that. And then what you end up doing is you fold that back into the image, and this allows you to have a combination of a really wonderful set of stars, but also be able to sort of pull that out, because a lot of times that's really hard to do, or it has been in the past.
Okay. So. That's so interesting how you can pull the stars out and just have the nebula. Yeah. Like how a program can do that. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. It's far from perfect. I mean, there's a lot of issues about residual junk that's left over. Adam Block did an episode on Pix TV. He's got a thing called Pix TV.
Okay.
Which sort of is like little episodes of things they teach you about PixInsight.
Okay.
And he did one on how to use StarNet and remove these halos and things. So I mean, just by way of example, I'm gonna go back to this real quick, but you can see. Right, it did not do a great job of removing it. There's all these little bits and pieces and things. So
right.
It usually you can kind of get away, and we're so far zoomed in, you can kind of get away with this kind of stuff.
Right.
This is it.
But then you're layering it back on, so you got it.
Right. So, but I mean, there is some issues with that, and Adam's got this great episode. We'll put a link to it down below when we do this podcast. But it's really nice, and he's got a great way to kind of remove a lot of that extra gobbledygook in there.
Got it. Nice. So. Yeah. Tips is always good. That's what a lot of people seem to like about watching our show.
Right. Now, I have a question for you. So last time we talked about, we were going to go through our configurable mounts.
Yes. We didn't have time on the last podcast.
We didn't have time on the last podcast. So again, can you just briefly summarize what are the configurable mounts? Okay.
So it's only on our website. It's store.losmandy.com. It basically, what we're doing is giving you your options to purchase only what you need to purchase. If you don't need a tripod, then you don't need to buy a tripod. You can just buy that, just buy the mount head itself.
Right. So here it is. We're in the store. These are the configurable mounts.
Right.
And I'm just going to choose the G11G. So here you can kind of hear all the options that you can choose.
Yes. So, but we wanted to do, the NEAF program was last Saturday. So we wanted to do a little podcast thing for that. And so we
and NEAF is?
The virtual NEAF 2021.
Right.
NEAF is the Northeastern Astronomy Forum.
Got it.
So they streamed it last Saturday, but now it's available. I think it's available on YouTube, so you can just go on there. It's just loaded on YouTube. But we actually walked people through each of the accessories that we offer and the configurable mounts and what all the accessories, the purpose of the accessories do.
Right. So NEAF, which is normally a physical show that people go to, is now virtual. So that we did a little recording of this, and we took that opportunity to actually go through all these options in the configurable mount. Right. I think I'm pretty sure I remember we had a mount here, right?
Yeah. We had a physical mount. So yeah, we walked everybody or walk
people virtually through.
Can I talk or what? Golly, making me nervous, Brian. Pineapple. Golly.
Okay, but we did do the video for NEAF, and we're going to put a link below on that because we did want to talk about the configurable mount, but it ended up being like about 25 minutes.
Right, yeah. So we already did it. Watch that when you have some 20 minutes of time to look at it. But it's useful. So, it's helpful.
But if you're interested in knowing all about the configurable options of our configurable mounts, kind of what they are, what they mean, how much, if you purchase it at the time of configure it at time of purchase, there's some opportunity to save some money.
Yep.
Right. So
definitely.
We'll put that in the link below.
Okay.
All right. I like that.
Yeah. And then another thing everybody's been asking, where's our newsletter? Because we've been doing it so far. I think we're going to be going on to newsletter 9 or 10. We've been doing it once a month, but we're
so far behind on stuff.
I know you've been so involved in a few projects, and so and you and Scott have been working on some projects, and then we've been so busy with new orders and everything like that. So it kind of fell to the side for a little bit, but we will be continuing it. People love our newsletter. Everybody's kind of been asking. So that's why we're making a commitment to get one out to you probably within the next couple weeks.
Right. So the newsletter is alive and well. Yeah.
Yes, alive and well. We are still doing it. So, but thanks for reading it.
And by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we part of the newsletter is send in images. We want to feature customer images.
Yes, right? Yes. Please send in your images on your G11, GM811, G11T mounts, GM8 mounts, any of them, and you get a free T-shirt if your image is featured that month in the newsletter.
And this is we have the 40th anniversary.
Yes.
T-shirts.
And
these are. Do people send in images of just the things that they have imaged in the sky, or what if they send in like gear porn, right? Like pictures of their mount or something like that. Does that count?
I mean, we can do whatever we want. Even I know there's a few people out there that actually don't even do astronomy. They do terrestrial shooting, like eagles and stuff on our mounts.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, we have quite a few customers that are just doing shots of birds. Things like that. So yeah, anything.
And all of that qualifies.
All of it qualifies.
Okay.
Gear, yeah.
So, astronomical images, terrestrial images, as long as they're shot on a Losmandy mount, or gear porn.
Gear. Yeah, gear porn.
I don't want to put too fine of a point on that, but I've seen some mounts that have been absolutely beautiful, like really well conceived, or a beautiful telescope on there. Or
yes.
Maybe they've got a beautiful
nice setup
observatory, or it's sort of a sunset, something like that. Those all count.
Oh, definitely, yeah. That's all. We would love to get any of them.
Okay,
we do get lots, but
where do we send them? Where do they send them to?
Send it to Tanya K at losmandy.com, and that's Tanya with an A.
And K with a K.
K with a K. KK.
Yeah, that's enough.
All right.
Okay. So newsletter. Now, one of the questions that we get is about the digital drive system. Mm-hmm. So, and the question is sort of like, what's the status of the digital drive system? Can I buy one? What's
right. Yeah. So we sometimes will get the question, can I get a digital drive system? When I first started here, which was about 5 years ago, a little bit over 5 years ago, we were selling quite a few of them. So we did invest a little bit more into it. And over the years, it's almost nobody asks for it anymore. I mean, we might sell one or two. So we kind of are just
like 1 or 2 a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of that electronic system, pretty much everybody has moved over to the Go-To. But
and that's the so they moved from the digital drive system, or also what's known as the 492, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And now it's the Gemini, which is the Go-To system.
Right. Yeah, the mini Gemini. I mean, even when we did that trade-in program at the beginning of the year with our newsletter, we had so many trade-ins. So just people are technology's moving up there and everything like that. So people just want to star hop, go to.
And by the way, if somebody still wants to do a trade-in, do we still have that program? Like,
yeah, if you're really nice to me, if you're really nice to us, we'll definitely honor it.
All right. Okay, but if you call in and you're interested in trading in your Gemini 1 or your digital drive system, call Tanya. Don't call Brian.
Call me.
Call Tanya.
And we'll get you set up.
Talk sweetly and ask about because it's a trade-in discount, right?
Yeah, you get a refund. Yeah. But part of the concern that I've asked somebody, like, why are you wanting the 492 system? And they say, well, because I just really want to push and track. I don't need a Go-To. And so the good news is that you can still use the Gemini Go-To system as a push and track.
Right.
Some of those reasons, you were telling me one of the reasons why somebody would want to just do a push and track instead of a Go-To.
Right. So the difference is, what we're talking about is there's a push-to system where you physically move the mount, or not the mount, but yeah, you do. I mean, you do, but you physically sort of position the telescope and aim it in the sky.
Right.
I guess manually aiming it, right?
Okay.
So by moving the axes.
Okay.
And then there's the Go-To system where you have an astronomical computer like the Gemini.
Correct.
And you type in something and you say, I want to go to M17, and then it sort of slews over there and it finds it.
Right.
So the Go-To system requires, it requires the computer, the Gemini, which is a little more expensive, and it requires you typing in your coordinates.
A little bit more setup.
Yeah, a little bit more setup, a little bit more
time.
Stuff. People don't necessarily want to do that. Maybe they just want to sort of star hop, or they're looking at targets that are very bright in the sky.
Okay.
And kind of just sort of push it. So, the thing that when you and I talk to customers, they're surprised about is if you just want to do a push-to type system with the Gemini, all you do is you loosen the clutches a little bit, so they're still, that you can move it, but they're still sticky a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. And you just use it as a push-to. I mean, that's all there is to it.
So you still have the option to have a push-to and track mount, but you just do it through the Gemini Go-To system, or you kind of ignore the Gemini Go-To system.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, it's a push-to. I don't know what a push-to is.
Again, I cannot talk today.
It's that juice. You haven't had enough of it.
I think it's the hitting of my head yesterday.
Yeah. By the way, can we talk about that for a second?
Oh my god.
So you have a little scar on your head, but that was new as of a couple days ago, right?
Just yesterday, I was pushing some metal to and I ran into the back of a truck. God, I don't know. I need to pull myself together.
But not many people know this. But this is it's a shop, right? We machine all of our parts here in Burbank, right, in America, and you, Tanya, are pushing.
I'm hands on.
You're doing it. Right?
Yeah.
You're pushing counterweights around. You're unloading stuff. You're loading stuff for anodizing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're making it all happen.
I'm a very, very hands-on person. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm everywhere.
Fab.
Answering the phones, all that good stuff. Yeah. So.
Okay, but wrap that up, if you want a push-to system, we are no longer selling the digital drive system.
Right, but you can use the Gemini. You can still use our mounts, even though they are a Go-To system, as a push and track system.
Right, and all you do is you just simply start it up, loosen the clutches slightly, and then
point it at your object,
and then just sort of push it around. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So sometimes somebody says that they don't want to go. I think you were telling me this, that they don't want to go out and do the whole setup and all that stuff when you just want to look at one object just for a second. Like, oh, I want to go check this out really fast, right? Yeah. So you just go out there and do it really quick.
Yeah. I mean, the Go-To and everything is really kind of more geared around, long-term tracking, precision tracking. You want a lot of good polar alignment. But sometimes you might just be like, man, I just really want to see M3, the Hercules clusters coming up. I just want to check it out. And just move it out there and do it real quickly. Right?
Check out the moon, if it's a crescent moon, when you can actually look at it.
Yeah, check out the moon. We got the lunar tracking, so you don't really need a whole lot of setup to do sort of something basic like that.
Oh, so when you're looking at the moon, you put it on lunar tracking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that much about the Gemini. That's you. That's your, you were the guru. I call you the Gemini guru.
I don't know about that.
In my eyes, you are. In my eyes, at least.
But yes. So we got we have lunar tracking, but I mean, you could use sidereal as well. It's not super critical, but the point is just get out there and observe, right? That's the fun of it.
Right. Yeah, definitely. A lot of people are doing it this past year. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been blowing up. So.
Yeah. So last week we had episode 2. At the end of it, we did a tips and tricks, a bag of tips and tricks. Everybody seemed to really like that, so that was a lot of fun.
Bag of goodies.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So this year we're kind of doing a little something different. Did I just say this year?
I think you did.
Oh my gosh, seriously.
It's like we have the Pishtu for this year too, right?
Seriously. But this episode we are going to do like a lightning round, like a quick questions about things, about Losmandy mounts, and both of us will participate.
Right. So
good?
These are common questions we get from customers. We've not necessarily seen all these questions, right? So we're gonna kind of see if we can answer them well.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
What?
I'm scared.
Why are you scared?
Oh gosh.
Okay. So, but you and I are we're going to try to answer them.
Yeah.
One of us will sort of decide to answer it.
Okay.
And maybe we'll try to do it. But we're gonna try to get through all these questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this will be fun.
Okay. Now, are you gonna start or am I gonna start?
I'm gonna start.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready? You better be. I just called you the Gemini guru, so don't make me look bad. Don't make me look like a liar here.
You're going to look fine. I'll look bad. I'll screw this up.
Okay. Can you tell me what all the ways that you can connect a Gemini to a computer?
So connecting the Gemini to the computer. So you can connect via serial port.
Okay.
You can connect via Ethernet.
Okay.
Which is very unique and very handy. And you can connect via a dedicated USB port.
Okay. Not many of not a lot of mounts have all those options. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, most of them are serial.
Okay.
And USB is kind of it's serial. It's a serial connection, but it's through the USB port.
Right.
So it's kind of the same, but it's just easy. You kind of plug it in, and you're good to go.
Okay.
But most of them have that. With the native Ethernet. Now, I wanted to point out that technically you can connect via Wi-Fi, but
that's what I was going to ask you. Isn't that a way to do it also? Yeah.
Yeah, but what you want, and we did a whole video on this, and again, we'll put it in the comment section below, but you want like a little micro router on there.
Okay. I've seen that video. That's a great video.
Yeah, and it's been very popular, and
Yes.
people love it because you can use it for Wi-Fi connections, and it you can use it whether you're on your home network or you take it with you to a remote site. It all works the same way.
Got it. Okay. Is there one that you prefer over the other?
As far as the micro router?
No. Is there a better connection? Is USB preferable? Is Ethernet preferable? Is one better than the other?
For generally using the Gemini, USB or Ethernet, totally fine.
Okay.
In terms of performance, is really no difference. The thing that I like about the Ethernet connection, and I prefer it, is that you have access. The Gemini has a built-in web server with a bunch of web pages.
Right.
You can see what's going on.
Okay.
But also we have a thing called the Gemini Firmware Updater. We call it the GFU for short.
Okay.
And the GFU is a way to automatically update your firmware into the Gemini. And it works best. Well, that particular application works when we have the Ethernet connection. You can update firmware in other ways, but this is kind of a one-button push.
Got it.
It's good to go.
Easiest way. Now, I know that's one of the projects that you've been working on. Do we have a GFU coming up? No? Yeah, no. Oh. Next question. Where's my bell?
Where is your bell?
You should pineapple now.
saying pineapple. This lightning round question is going like very, very.
Okay.
It's more like a slow spring.
There we go.
Storm. Okay.
Next.
All right. Next. Okay. I've got one for you.
Okay.
I am building. This is a question from a customer. So I am building, not me, but a customer, right?
Okay.
I am building a pier for my new G11. What do I need to adapt my G11 to this pier?
Oh, good question. Very good question. I get that a lot because now you don't need to buy the tripods with the configurable mounts. So you will need to purchase. So the head, the G11 head needs to lock into something, which is considered for the GM8, GM811, G11, you need an MA. Okay. For the G11T, you need the MAL. Okay. It's a larger base. That's 7 inches versus 6.
Okay.
So you do need that 4-inch tube to put on top of your pier.
We're going to look up MA.
Okay.
Search. Hello, search. So there's a bunch of stuff that come up with MA, but this is it, right?
I think it's on, that's.
I don't know. Why doesn't it come up first? Holy Toledo. Well, you know what? Here, let me do this. I'm going to type in, the MAL looks very similar, right?
Right.
Search for that.
There's one. Okay. So that's the large one for the G11T or your Titan. So what you want to do is that's what you lock your head into, your mount head into. But and then on top of your pier, you are going to need an adapter plate. I always suggest Dan's pier plates. He knows our whole pattern. He knows a lot out there. So
you're talking about adapting the MA or the MAL to this concrete pillar that you have. You need an additional doodad.
If you don't have the whole to my knowledge, yes, this is what you definitely need, a pier adapter plate.
Got it.
So, and I always suggest Dan's pier plates.
Okay.
We should put his link down below.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of people go to him. And what he is doing for right now for an international customer for us, he is making the part for the customer and then shipping it to us so I can add it to our Losmandy mount shipment so he doesn't have to pay 2 different shipments, which is international shipping is expensive.
Yeah, I think.
And then you have to pay your duties.
New Zealand and Australia especially.
Yeah. So if I can just throw it in my box, he doesn't have to pay for that extra package. Save you a little bit of money.
So that's great. So, and do you let how does a customer sort of take advantage of this?
So he just needs to email Dan over Dan's, or whoever, just email. I only know Dan's just because it's Dan's pier plates, can't speak again. Dan's pier plates. I'm on a good one today. Let me tell you. And then he just emails it and then he's going to ship it. So
great.
Yeah. So it works out really nice.
That's a nice way to coordinate things.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's another question for you. What are the lowest and highest altitude, like physically doing the altitude on the mount? What are the lowest and highest altitude on the mounts by model?
Okay. I know this answer. Thank goodness. With the new tucked motors, okay, the current version that we're shipping today with the tucked motors,
which comes standard with the mount, right?
It's normal, yeah. But the old version, that's the motors are out. This does not apply. So the current version of the tucked-in motors, it goes from 0 degrees to 67 degrees. Okay. The older version, I think it starts at like 12 degrees or something like that.
So there's some added benefit to the tucked-in motors.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's people down towards the equator can now use our mount, which is nice. And then that is on the GM8, GM811, and the G11. The G11T is 17 degrees to 70 degrees.
Okay.
Now that is to get to those degrees, I always get this question, how I can't get past 40 degrees on my G11T. And what it is around that altitude, it's around a bolt. There's 6 holes around this bolt on the side of the mount. The inside those holes is 3 screws. You need to take out the 3 screws on both sides, and then you can tilt the mount and then lock it back in. So there's 3 different segments of degrees.
So the G11T, because it supports a tremendous amount of weight, basically has 3 kind of areas of degrees, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And that depending on which area that you are in, you would sort of pull out these bolts and sort of move it to those one of
right.
three.
It goes about 20. Yeah, it's about 20 degrees per section.
Got it.
So those are the degrees things.
Okay. So I have so there's another one which I think is perfect for you.
Okay.
So let's talk about load capacity of the mounts. And the way that this person has phrased this question, I'm gonna do my best, but the question is kind of like what is the load capacity of our mounts? But they've asked it in a way of, hey, I've typically seen mount specs, and people will say whatever they say, you want to do like a half or a third of what the published spec is.
Got it.
So
yes, I get that quite a bit.
we have published specs on our mounts, and kind of what is it? What is the published spec for each of the mounts, and is it really? So should I, as a customer, think like whatever that number is? Is that the actual? Is that the
right?
actual
Do you need half it? No. So you can find all of our specs on what our load capacity, and these are for astro imaging. You do not need to half it, as you do some of the other mounts, and it does not include counterweights. So the G11, our flagship, is a 60-pound load capacity, and that is of your OTA, your imaging train, and your dovetails, all that stuff, but not including your counterweights. And
so G11, 60-pound capacity for astro imaging, and for visual
75.
So visuals,
I think it's 75. But if you look, I sometimes can't always remember the numbers. I can barely even speak today, so I don't even. We have our spec sheets in the description of all of our mounts. Do you want to, I don't know, you can pull up the configurable mounts really fast and show them where that data spec sheet
let
is.
me see here.
And it gives you all of those specs.
It's really under any of our mounts.
Right.
So if I go under like the G11, this is GM811, but here's the, right?
Yeah, right there where it says download data sheet. There you go. It's going to give you all of that, the specs and all that good stuff on it. So I don't.
Well, we'll put a link on these in the description below, right?
Yeah.
All the different ones, right?
Yeah. So that was a good one.
Okay.
All right.
But I just want to finish up though. So taking the G11 as an example, it's a 60-pound capacity, and you're saying that is 60 pounds. It is 60 pounds, and it includes the telescope and anything you put on a telescope side, but not the counterweights.
Correct.
So let's just say
that's a pretty good mount. I mean,
yeah, wow.
It's holding a lot of weight plus the counterweights. So there's a lot of telescopes out there that can be put on a G11.
So if it's let's just say you have 60 pounds of counterweight.
Okay.
We're talking about 60 pounds of telescope and 60 pounds of counterweight, and that is the spec of the G11.
Yes, that is what it can hold.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a lot. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, holds it well too. Let me tell you. I have a question for you. Can it be my turn? Me?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
You in the back over there.
Can you control your Gemini from a Planetarium program? I get that one, but I'm not going to know that answer.
Oh, yeah.
That's where
absolutely.
I would definitely tell them to email tech support.
Right.
I'd tell them to email you at techsupport.losmandy.com and ask that question. So
yeah, so the answer is yes.
Okay.
I mean, we have a standard ASCOM interface. So if you have a planetarium on your computer, such as Stellarium, which is a very popular and free one, or the SkyX or some other ones, you would use the Gemini Telescope.net ASCOM driver. I know it's strange because it says .net on the end like it's a website, but no, it has to do with the fact they use the .net framework to create it.
Okay.
But yeah, you can absolutely use that. But also, if you just want to use, like, for example, if you have a mobile tablet or something like that, and you want to just connect it in and use the go-to that way, you can actually use like the micro router we talked about.
Right. Okay.
Connect that way, or you can use Sky Safari is a very popular planetarium program, and they have Sky-Fi, which is a Wi-Fi enablement of the serial port.
Okay.
I know it sounds kind of that's probably not an important detail, but essentially you buy this box, plug it into the serial port in the Gemini, and you don't even need a computer. You can actually just use your mobile device, your iPad or whatever, and connect right in and actually do go-tos and things like that from the Planetarium program.
Awesome. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
That the Gemini can do. That's great.
And by the way, I do have a video that we did previously. I forgot about this, on how to connect up using Sky-Fi and Sky Safari. We'll put a link to that in the
Excellent. Yeah, because a lot of people use it, and a lot of people do. Can I use it with my iPad? Blah blah blah. So I know that we can. So that'd be great. Yeah, show them how to do it. And then another question that I would like you to answer, because I got this question the other day and I answered it incorrectly. Scott was like, Tanya, and I was like, why don't you tell me these? Why don't you tell me? I'm answering the phone. I'm the last to know here at Losmandy, just to let you know. So if I answer it wrong, that's why. So if you lose power to a Gemini, does it know where it's at? When you power it back up. So if you lose power, shuts down, and you power it back up, does it remember where it was?
The short answer is yes.
Oh, okay. See, I answered the phone and told the customer no. And I feel bad now. Right. So correction here.
So the slightly longer answer is yes. But the thing is, so yes, if you're tracking along and let's say you lose power and then you power back up, the mount does remember where it last was. So you will go through the startup routine for the Gemini and it will say, how do you want to start it? We have cold start, warm start, and warm restart.
Okay.
And it's important that at that point, don't touch anything, don't do anything, but you would choose the warm restart.
Okay.
And essentially what that says is retain the model and retain the last position that the mount was in.
Nice. Okay.
So if you were to accidentally, let's say that happened.
Okay.
You were to accidentally do cold start or warm start, then it would blank out where it thought the mount was physically
okay.
It now thinks that it's in counterweight down position.
So as you're doing your night of imaging, it's actually memorizing it in the Gemini.
Yes, keep a tracking of where it
keeps
track of where
I did not know that. That was brand new news to me. So yay, I'm glad I now know.
Yeah, learn something new every day, right?
Yeah, I really did.
Okay, another one for you.
Okay.
And I guess it's kind of related to the previous one, but we get a lot of questions. So when someone wants to buy a new mount, do they have to buy the tripod?
No. We now offer, we have started this, I want to say probably a year ago, 9 months to a year ago, the configurable mounts. And then that you can just buy the mount head itself with or without an MA. Because if you already have an older tripod, you can just reuse that one.
You mean if you have an existing Losmandy tripod?
Yeah, you could just reuse that one. So if you don't need any more tripods, but if you will always need an MA, either an older tripod or an MA to go on a pier, as we talked about just a few minutes ago.
Right. So I think if I just go here, but let me just sort of back up. So let's just look at this real quick. If we go into mounts and we go into the configurable mounts, and I'm just going to pick this G11 here. So here's the tripod and pier options. We have mount only, which is no tripod or adapter. Then the standard HD folding tripod, which is, I think, really the only option we have for the G11, just due to the weight capacity.
Right.
Or you can have just the MA adapter if you happen to be buying a pier or something like that, or having a pier built.
Yep. Okay. So that's how you do that.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. I think we're done with
You're
that
welcome.
question. I thought we were going to ring this bell more.
Well, you did well. You did good, Brian.
Doesn't that mean that the bell gets rung?
I think you're missing the bell being rung. You like
that? To me, it feels kind of good, you know?
This adds a little tune in the room. Okay, Brian, I'm going to ask you a couple things, or one thing. Next question.
Okay.
So we have a lot of resources out there for Losmandy mount owners and people who are looking at purchasing a Losmandy mount. Where are all of our platforms that we're on? We're on quite a few.
Like, what are the best resources that we have? Is that
that we post things that we have? Yeah, I mean, number one, our podcast. Right?
Yeah, well, I would say more generally our YouTube channel, right? So not only is it our podcast and we try to answer questions, but we have our YouTube series for brand new mount owners, and also just a lot. I mean, we've got dozens and dozens of videos.
So many videos. Yeah, you've really
things.
been active on that. So people really say that they do help a lot.
Yeah, Scott's done a bunch in the past.
Yeah,
as well.
he's done a bunch
of those. So.
Yeah.
It's
quite a library, that's for sure.
Right. So we have that. We have the user groups. We actually have 3 different user groups.
And you're actively watching those, right?
Yeah, I participate in them.
Okay.
So we have the Losmandy user group, which
Okay.
is kind of just for mounts, generally speaking, like the mechanical aspects, buying and selling and so forth.
And everybody's allowed to pitch in and help. Remember our last podcast, we were talking about the success story from Hugo? He was on the user group, and that is where, so definitely join that.
Yeah, so we have the user groups, which are great because there's tons and tons of experience. I mean, these people own these mounts for decades. Yeah. And a lot of people have a lot of experience with them. There's a bunch of people now. The ASI Air sort of all-in-one computer for doing imaging from ZWO. That's becoming very popular. A lot of people are using them and know how to
connect it, even though you may not know how to. Exactly. Right? That's awesome. I like that. Mm-hmm.
So that's wonderful. So we have the Losmandy user group. We have the Gemini 1 user group, which is really important. We have a lot of people who've had the Gemini 1 for many, many years.
Oh, yeah.
But also, they're there to help other people with Gemini 1 type questions, right? Mm-hmm. And then we have the Gemini 2 user group, which is, of course, the current incarnation of the Gemini.
Right.
And then we also have, there's a website, and again, we'll put the link in below, but Gemini-2.com. Now, this is actually a resource. It's a community resource. We contribute to it. But really, it has been set up and run by Paul Konevsky, who also authored the Gemini
ASCOM you've mentioned
driver,
him a couple times.
And actually the GFU as well, the Gemini firmware updater. He's a phenomenal guy. We should have him on here, by the way.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
When we get set up, we're going to do. We got to get set up, I think.
I know, we got to figure out our remote setup type of thing. But, Paul, I hope you'll come on. But it has like tons and tons and tons of resources. In fact, I even use them all because sometimes they'll have questions about pinouts on various cables or things that are historical in nature. We get that a lot,
yes.
And I just, I can't keep track of all that stuff. And so it's a phenomenal resource. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely.
So.
Yeah, I point a lot of people there. That's for sure.
And then, of course, we have tech support.
Yeah.
Email's probably best.
Tech support, yep. Tech support
at Losmandy.com.
And another great thing is that you can always pick up the phone and give us a call.
Yeah, call and talk to Tanya.
Yes, you can call and say hello to me. If Brian's available, you can talk to him. Scott, sometimes if I can get Scott off a machine, he's very hands-on. He's always on a machine or assembling everything, so it's great.
Scott is like 24/7. He personally builds these mounts.
He does.
Personally. Mm-hmm. And he personally tunes them performance-wise.
Yes, he does.
And that's pretty much what he's been doing.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are just amazed, I mean, he's still, he's very, very, very hands-on here, So.
Right. Fabulous.
Yeah.
But those are all I would say those are my top resources. We do have a Facebook page, but honestly, I don't think it's not highly trafficked right now.
Right. I used to be a lot better at it, but I haven't been so much, so that's my fault. But I just posted something yesterday about the NEEF streaming now.
All right. Yes. Well, NEEF. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can. I mean, that's you can go and look at NEEF.
Yeah.
The NEEF streaming. Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. And I think that wraps it up.
Yes, that's everything we wanted to talk about today.
I know. I'm thirsty. I need some more juice. Come on.
Get some juice. We're going to get rolling here. We're going to sort of sing ourselves out. But thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. It was great seeing you guys again. See you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Yay. That was fun.
We didn't talk about the fact that your sweater is the Jupiter colors.
Oh, that's right. It just reminds me of Jupiter. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that looks like Jupiter. I'm going to get it. I like it.
Oh, that's funny.